think the British are terrible at languages, and I think that's why at one stage we had an empire. I think our arrogance got us an empire, because we got sailing ships and we went off around the world trying to buy stuff to bring back to show off. That's what you do on your holidays. We arrived on the shores of a foreign land, we got out the boat and we said, I'd like to buy some spices, please. I'm getting nothing here, Jeremy. Say it a bit louder. Right you are. I'd like to buy some spices, please. Still nothing. Well, I'll fetch the muskets, we'll build a railway, in 200 years they can have a call centre. Very much an abridged version of empire, but that's what happened. I've got another story about how bad we are at languages. I was doing a bit of material last year about the rioting all over Paris. French people rioting, it's funny. Oh, quick, Pierre, they have a water cannon. If we're not careful, we'll be washed. And I wanted to check I hadn't offended anyone, so I said, are there any French people in? Someone shouted, si, senor. I thought that's a new kind of stupid. Because it's Spanish. Now, Prince Harry was meant to go and fight in Iraq last year, but he couldn't go to Basra last July because he's ginger, he would melt. So he did go, and actually, while the rest of his unit were fighting in Basra, he was found by a British journalist, tracked down to a strip club in Canada. And the journalist went up to him and said, are you Prince Charles's son? He said, no. It got me thinking, ladies and gentlemen, because he's just got back from Afghanistan. What kind of preparation was that playboy lifestyle for fighting in a war? I know what you're probably thinking. You probably think it'd be much clearer if someone had juxtaposed strip clubs and war in a poem. You're in luck. I've compared and contrasted strip clubs and war in a poem. It is simply entitled Strip Club War. Yeah, a little bit of culture for you, ladies and gentlemen. I will read it for you now. Strip Club War. Young men getting slaughtered, bazookas everywhere, privates standing to attention, grabbing their helmets, weapons going off, sobbing men desperately clawing at gashes as bodily fluids dribble out, sweethearts back at home wondering if they'll ever see you again, the number of stiffs growing by the hour, freshly shaven twats shooting at anything with a beard and regretting they'd come, the next generation spilling out of choppers onto hot, barren mounds. It's more expensive than you think it'll be when you go in, and the whole thing leaves a mess that'll take years to clean up. And, of course, Muslims don't like it. I blame Bush. There's a lot of problems in the world, so I like to do a little bit of problem-solving every day, try and make the world a slightly better place. British women, that's you ladies, British women last year spent £280 million removing unwanted body hair. Surely it would be cheaper and easier just to move to Germany. If you're worried about putting on a few extra pounds and you want to be ready for next summer with your beach body, why don't you visit Somalia and get some fucking perspective? There's people with real problems, you fat cow. You look like some kind of surfer dude. What's your name?
John.
John? Where are you from, John?
The United States.
Well done. John, do you know the difference between a British soldier and an Iraqi soldier? Know the difference? And what do you do, John? What are you doing over here? I don't need to check your papers. I'm just checking, just asking.
I'm a college professor on vacation.
You're a college professor on vacation. Okay, sounds like a setup for a movie. With hilarious consequences. Yes. So what do you teach?
I teach philosophy and religious studies.
Philosophy and religious studies. Well done. So, do you teach philosophy to the brighter kids, and then if they don't get the hang of it, you go, oh, just believe in God, man. I read an article recently about British men's ultimate sexual fantasy, and it surprised me. The results of it surprised me. It was a proper survey. They asked 3,000 men their opinion. I'd like to do a little straw poll in here this evening, because the results of this, I was shocked. Ultimate sexual fantasies. Has anyone got one they wouldn't mind admitting to?
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. It's a specific person that you would like to bone. Well, I happen to know Jessica Alba does an awful lot of work for charity. Maybe... any other ultimate sexual fantasies?
Girlfriend.
My girlfriend? Well, maybe we could double team her. My girlfriend is your ultimate sexual fantasy. Yes, people see my girlfriend and they see me and they say, she's only going out with you because you're famous. And I say, but I am famous. What's your point? Is that your girlfriend?
That is my girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend? I'm not going to swap if that's okay. Can I just clarify? You are a beautiful lady, no disrespect to you. But he heckled, I had to put him down, and the only way to get to him was through you. I like the way as well. I suggested your girlfriend wasn't good looking enough, and you applauded. Yeah, you'll be using those hands later on, won't you? I think British men have got a fairly terrible reputation in the bedroom. We're always saying the wrong thing. I remember once having a one-night stand with a girl, and after the sex, she turned to me and jokingly said, "Who's going to sleep in the wet patch?" I said, "You're optimistic, I'm not staying." This is a good story about how bad British men are in the sack. I've got a friend. He went on holiday to Ibiza. He was about 25 at the time, and he picked up a girl, got her back to the villa. They made love underneath the moonlight on the veranda. Sounds fairly romantic, I think, as a setting. But he managed to fuck it up, don't worry about that. She turned to him, she said, "Talk dirty to me." Or, more accurately, talk dirty to me. He had a couple of seconds to think. OK, gentlemen, you've all got a couple of seconds. Just go to the place in your head, the little Rolodex of dirt. Next to the wank bank, generally. You know, you've got something smutty you could get out pretty quickly. You've all got something, right? He had a few seconds to think. He came up with the following. "Have some of that, you fat slag." Have some of that, you fat slag. Fucking hell. I imagine pretty quickly followed by, "Why are you crying?" In terms of... No, I don't normally do political stuff on my stage show, you know, on the tour, but I saw something that caught my eye recently. It was in Croydon. Anyone in from Croydon? One person down there. Hope you're having a knife crime. Sorry. Nice time. My bad. So it was this thing. It happened in Croydon. I saw it in the local paper down in Croydon, and it was a BNP campaigner. Are you familiar with this carnival of cunts? So it was a British National Party campaigner was handing out leaflets in Croydon High Street. And you know, when people are handing out leaflets, I mean, handing out leaflets in Croydon High Street for the BNP is the Everest of stupid, needless to say. But he's handing out these leaflets. You know, sometimes you don't look at a leaflet when you're in the high street. You just pick it up and kind of take it, and you're a couple of steps before you look at the thing. So this guy picked up a leaflet. Oh, British National Party, that's interesting. Bang. And properly connected with a punch. Now, I'm not advocating violence. No, never solved anything. But on this occasion, I will let it go because he gave the BNP campaigner a black eye. And that is pretty genius. Because for that fucker, that's adding insult to injury. A lot of planning is going on in London for the 2012 Olympics. Sadly, most of it is being done by Al-Qaeda. I just don't understand it. Why would you become an Islamic fundamentalist suicide bomber on the off chance you might get 72 virgins when you die? Become a Catholic priest and have them now! Life's for living, am I right? So I met an armed police officer. His only job is to guard our queen, to make sure that no one steals our queen and uses her head to photocopy it and make their own money and stamps. I don't know. So I walked up to this armed police officer outside Buckingham Palace. I said, "Security?" He went, "Yeah." Here's his question. He said, "Are you in Al-Qaeda?" I went, "No." "As you were." I thought, this guy seems fun, so I asked him, I said, "Does anything funny ever happen when you're rolling with the Queen?" He said, "Yeah, I'll tell you this story. Has to be in confidence, though. I said, you can trust me. He is not a good judge of character. I'm also in Al-Qaeda. No, I'm not. Or am I? No. So he told me the story. He said the Queen, her whole entourage, she travels with about 15 people. They went up to Glasgow last year. She was opening a drop-in centre for homeless alcoholics. Of course in Glasgow. Where else would you fucking put it? It's very much ground zero for homeless alcoholics. It's their biggest export. So the Queen's there, and she's cutting through the ribbon like a fucking ninja, and all the usual suspects are there. There's the mayor, there's the local dignitaries, there's the chairman of the charity, the people that work in the local office, and they've got a couple of the homeless guys, the alcoholic homeless guys from Glasgow, that the charity has helped in other locations, suited and booted, washed and brushed there to meet the Queen, so that she could see the people that have benefited from her kind works. Lovely. So the Queen, as we all know, has only got one bit of shtick, which is the question, what do you do? That's her only question. She doesn't point like that, that'd be mental. But that's her only question, what do you do? That's all she asks. She said to a Scottish alcoholic homeless man, what do you do? And he came back, rather epically, I feel, with, same as you, nothing. Apparently, she was fucking terrified.
For those of you that don't know, I'm Jimmy Carr, one of the biggest faces in British comedy. Literally. I've got one of the biggest faces. Look at that, it's like the moon. Probably affecting your menstrual cycle, just being this close. When I told my mum I wanted to grow up and be a comedian, she said, you can't do both. And she's right, being a comedian makes you quite immature. I'm sort of like a 14-year-old boy trapped inside a man's body. Not in a Michael Jackson way. Because he's a child at heart, not because he fucks kids. Because he definitely doesn't, for legal reasons, so... I should warn you, this isn't a show for the easily offended. It's not even a show for people that are quite difficult to offend. Essentially, this is a show for people without a moral compass. And that's why it's nice we've got a couple of chavs down the front. Hello. I'm much better when I've prepared stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and I was asked last year to write something about being British. I thought, well, my pleasure. I'd like to share it with you now. What makes Britain great is our ability to laugh at ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I mean other people. And when I say laugh, I mean invade. But Britain is proud to boast that we're home to the most hard-working, diligent and adaptable workforce in Europe, the Poles. They're bloody good, aren't they? Yeah. Round of applause for the Poles. Of course, you get a lot of right-wing people saying, oh, these Poles, they come over here taking our jobs. I was thinking, if a guy from Poland arrives, he doesn't speak the language, doesn't have any money, doesn't know anyone, and he takes your job on the first day, you're shit. Fuck off. The highest speed ever achieved on a bicycle was done by a British man, 146 miles per hour on a bicycle. That is pretty impressive. It was recorded at a level crossing. Still counts. I love it when you're away on holiday. If like you're in the south of France or Spain or wherever, or Birmingham. But I love it when you're away, you can tell where all the other British people are. Because when a tray goes over in a restaurant, we're the ones going, you clumsy fucking cunt. Now, obviously, it's a family show. What we do is we print new pounds, and this time the Queen is smiling. And if things get really bad, tits out, Your Majesty. Little joke for you. What do you get if you cross the Queen and Prince Philip? Killed in a tunnel. Too soon? It's been 14 years, get over it. 1 in 10 British kids has never been to a beach in this country. Imagine that, growing up without ever having seen a dead cormorant with a tampon on its head. When I was a kid, I wanted to get a tattoo, but my parents said I had to get it somewhere that didn't matter. So I had it done in Hull. Is anyone here from Hull? Doesn't matter. Brilliant. Well, we'd already got a dead animal. And now we've parlayed cancer into this, so this is comedy fucking gold. I mean, I can't see this not making the final cut on the DVD set.
I cannot see a world where a dog dying of cancer. Because if there's one thing I know about the British public, it's cancer dead dog jokes. They fucking love them. Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and I'm announcing my new tour. It's called Jimmy Carr Laughs Funny, because there'll be laughs and it'll be funny, and because I laugh funny. Come and see me. Go to jimmycarr.com for details, dates and tickets and all that kind of thing. You know how to buy tickets. Go and buy some tickets.